Hello, welcome to the Two Chicks Homestead Podcast. We are the Two Chicks. Yay!
Hi, I'm Nate.
And I'm Erin, and we talk about homesteading and living on a small piece of land.
All right, so this is episode 21 of the
Yep.
Two Chicks Homestead Podcast.
Yep, and we are very tired.
Very, very tired. Very, very busy weekend. Boy, did we get some storms yesterday.
Yeah, we really needed it. We got like 2 inches of rain in a couple hours?
4 hours, yeah. So there's a little bit of something behind that, so we'll get into that in a little bit. But we want to give a little bit of an update on what stuff we got going on.
Yep, it's mostly about the garden. I looked out today and I have zucchini fruit showing up and cucumber fruit. And then I've got 2 different varieties of tomatoes that now have a bunch of flowers.
Awesome.
So that's always exciting.
Yeah.
You kind of put them in and you freak out that they're not growing, and then all of a sudden,
Oh my God,
they're big.
everything's there.
And it just so happens to be after that rain. So
Exactly.
And I the one of the comfreys, the bigger comfreys that I moved, it was looking pretty sad for a while, but it seems to be coming back.
Yeah, I noticed that. That was like right away, too.
Some of those leaves are still a little
Brown and crispy,
but I think it's still alive. So
yeah. I mean, you got new growth on
Yeah.
it, so it's coming back.
Yep.
So it survived the transplant.
yeah, so that was exciting because I know Brian's from Lots Projects and he didn't know because he doesn't normally transplant them. So
Right.
it was kind of a test. So
Yeah,
it's nice to know.
You can tell they're hardy plants.
Yeah,
So
I can't believe it took me this long to get some.
I know, and we've got a ton growing.
Yep.
So we got 3 or 4 plants in that little tiny garden out by the garden.
Yeah. Yep. The other thing that we did was the oldest chick, number 1, went to the county's farm safety camp.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a day-long camp, but she learned about bicycle safety and ATVs, tractors, mowers, a whole bunch of stuff. And then we all got to come back and see the
Grain rescue.
Yeah, the grain entrapment rescue. So that was really cool because that happens.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's still people that are talking that have been lost for a couple of weeks now in the grain silos in our area.
Yeah, so it was kind of neat to see how they actually did that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I've seen it before, and it's really interesting. And if you get a chance to look it up, it's like a metal box they drop in and then suck out all the corn inside that box to get you out.
Yeah, they were just using their helmets.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's...
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple different ways to do it. So, and then it's supposed to have steps in it where you can step out.
Yeah, they used... they had the pieces of wall that would get pushed down, and then the people that needed to walk around it and put the walls down used Pepsi crates because they could just put it on top of the corn and the corn wouldn't come through the little holes. And they said Coca-Cola crates they had holes that were too big, and it's like, whoever thought of that?
It's little things in life. So,
but it was pretty neat.
Yep. Yeah, it was pretty cool to hear you talk about that. I've seen videos of that rescue before, and it's interesting.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you guys got to see that.
Yeah.
So what else we got?
That was it.
That's it?
Yeah, it's just keeping on.
Yeah, and the rabbits. We got the kits that are, about a month old, give or take.
I was just thinking that today. I have no idea.
And then we got the meat birds, and they're finally in there, no longer cute, and now stinky
I think
phase.
they're about 300 weeks old. It feels like forever, and we have a long way to go.
Yeah, I think we've only had them about 2, maybe 3 weeks.
Yeah, we still have over a month.
Yeah, they've officially hit they're getting stinky phase.
Yeah, you open the garage, and it's like, oh my gosh, I just cleaned it out.
Yep, pretty soon we'll move them into the tractor and roam them around.
Yeah, they're still pretty little. They're still fuzzy.
Yeah.
Just starting to get their feathers.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All right, so should we jump into the other fun part?
Yep.
We had 10 people over for the weekend for the ARRL Summer Field Day event. So, the Summer Field Day event is basically you set up all your ham radio equipment and you try and run without grid power, which is exactly what we did. We ran off a generator.
Yeah.
We started setting up about 9 a.m. on Saturday. We got probably about 3/4 of the way set up. And then here comes the storm.
Yep.
And oh my God, did it dump a ton of rain on us.
Yeah, we were down there for a little bit, and then the girls and I came up back at the house for a while.
And that hadn't even really started raining yet. And we're down there. So we set up a 10x10 pop-up and a 10
Which was not planned. We had to go run and get that.
You ran and got that because you saw the storms coming, and we got that before the storms arrived. Thank God.
Yeah.
And then we had this 10x20, and that was leaking.
Yeah.
So I'm hunting down 10x20 tarps to pull up.
How did you even get that tarp way up on?
We threw ropes over the roof.
Oh my goodness.
So, and we had to pull it up. We did the same thing with that end tarp. So we pulled that second.
Yeah, pulling over the
10x20.
seam.
Yeah.
Or over the two where they come together.
Yep. Because it was raining pretty hard.
Yeah.
So.
And you only have like electronics like all over.
Oh yeah, you got thousands of
Yeah.
dollars of radios sitting inside of this tent. You need to keep them dry so
Yeah.
you can actually operate. So, the radios that we're running were Yaesu FT891. That was my radio that we were using. And then the club has a ICOM 746 Pro, which is a really nice radio. It's definitely higher end HF radio. On the 746, those guys were running 40 meters most of the time, and then we were running 20 meters and 15 this morning. So we're recording this on Sunday, for a little bit behind the scenes. Mm-hmm. So Sunday morning we're getting close to cleaning up, and we decided to run a little bit of 15 because I had built a new antenna this morning. I had all the pieces there, so we just jumped in and built it. But Saturday we started working 20, and it was going along pretty good. We made about 200 contacts, and I didn't think you didn't jump on yesterday, right?
No, it was
you were just kind of watching and seeing how things go.
I think I recorded yesterday.
Yeah, we recorded your CQ message into the radio.
Yeah,
because we're okay. If you use a female's voice, and I hate to get a little sexist here, but if you use a female's voice, it gives you like 3 extra dB of gain because everybody's going to hear that voice and go, oh, there's a YL on frequency.
And then the person that responds is some burly man.
Exactly, me.
This isn't what I wanted.
Exactly. So, but yeah, it's yesterday, Saturday, we got up and running after we got the rain all set.
It didn't officially start till 1 anyway.
Right, it didn't start till 1. We started it setting up at about 8:30 and 9 o'clock, and we got most of the way set up before the rain hit. Mm-hmm. We got the tower up, so it's this little tiny trailer that's got a flip up and telescopic tower, and it goes about 30 feet, and we put the 2 meter antenna on that, so we can at least get to the repeater and talk in anybody that was coming down, so they could find the place. And then we put the 80-meter off-center fed dipole on there. And that's what we were going to run on that 746. They're going to run 40 meters on that. And they were having nothing but problems with that antenna. So we actually ended up taking that down and putting up a 40-meter end-fed late Saturday night. And that actually worked out really good for them. It was probably like 4 o'clock, give or take, 4 or 5. I think we finally took the off-center fed down and then put that end fed up. End feds are really good because they're multi-banded, and that's what we run here at the house. I run an 80-meter end fed, and that will give me 160, so that the different bands, 160 meters down through 6 meters, which is all the HF radio bands for amateur radio. So they were running on this radio, we were running 40 on that one, and they made probably, I'd say about 100 to 150 contacts by themselves. They were dealing with pile-ups and contacting a ton of people. And then on 20, we were just kind of hunting and pecking. So we'd chase the stations, that were calling CQ, and we'd try and make contact with them. So we're going a little bit slower. But once we got that all situated, we're doing pretty good. Saturday night, made 200 contacts. Had dinner. We ended up making hot dogs for everybody. Everybody kind of took off at about 8 o'clock, and then a couple of us kept working until about 10, and then kind of decided to call it quits and go to bed since there was a little bit of a solar storm that came through. It really knocked out the signals, and we were having issues making contact, so we just decided to call it quits. Shut the generator down and take a break and just hang out. And then we got up this morning, and we started the generator up about 5:30 in the morning on Sunday morning. And that's when you kind of jumped on the radio once you woke up and we got some breakfast in us. Came down and you played on 20 a little bit.
Yeah.
So if you want to talk about doing that.
It just kind of got me past a little bit of the Mike Fright thing. I know I was posting about it in one of the Telegram chats, and someone's like, "You have a podcast. Why? How? It's the same." And it's like, it's not the same.
Yeah.
These people are coming back at you with this weird information that you're not used to, and it's like, you're giving off,
all the
things
exchange.
that it's like that you don't even really know what it means.
Right.
So it's like once you kind of it was good just to talk and not have to talk. Like, boom, boom, boom. Here's the information, on to the next. It wasn't like, so how's the weather? And, stuff like that where it's like, I don't want to do that yet.
And I'm not a huge fan of that either. Like, I talk to the guys in the morning going in on the repeater.
Yeah.
And it's standard. We chit-chat about some stuff here and there.
Well, once you start talking to somebody every day, you've got stuff to talk about.
Right, absolutely.
Where if you're talking to Joe Schmo, wherever, and it's like, I don't know. It's just weird. Yeah,
a lot of chit-chat on ham radio is mostly weather and what kind of gear you're running.
Yeah.
And that's... you're not at that point yet.
It's cliche, a bunch of old guys that,
it is.
Are talking about their medicine and what ailments, and I don't know. It's like if I don't know. I think once I get the general, that will open up a little bit more, that maybe I could find like a different kind of net to check in. Something where, I don't know, maybe it's farmers, maybe it's a bunch of women, just something that's, I don't know. I have no idea.
I've actually been talking to a couple of the guys from the TSP group, and they're talking about getting an HF net up and running.
Yeah.
So that will be kind of nice. You get your general for that, and then we do the ham radio crash course too.
Yeah.
I do that every Friday night.
Yeah, just something. I don't know, talk to people that have, things in common.
And there's another one that's the YL Systems net.
And that's on...
That's on 20.
But I thought that was on the intern...
The Echolink?
Echolink, yeah.
I think there is one on Echolink, but there is an HF one that is the YL Systems net.
Yeah.
I can look at the frequency next time I'm on. I hear them every once in a while.
Yeah, but it'd be kind of nice to, have something.
Yeah, have something for you where you can jump on.
Yeah, which, I do it on the club and the Aries net.
Yeah.
But that's, all you do is give your call sign.
Yeah.
It's not, you're not, like, talking.
Right. Where the HRCC is...
What'd you do this week or something? Yeah.
How was... So this upcoming week is going to be, how was field day? What projects did you guys do for field day?
Yeah.
And how many contacts did you guys make?
Yeah, and we have talked before where it's like, to have like a homesteading net, like, what did you do this week?
Yeah.
What are you working on? That kind of stuff.
And it's a good way to practice. If something happens, you have all these homesteaders that can get in touch with each other. Yeah.
Well, and that's why, we opened this up to a lot of people come to see what we're doing. Yeah. And we got one person.
Yeah. Out of the entire group, we had one person show up. And we greatly appreciate that person showing up.
Yeah.
Because that showed she was serious about what we had been talking about. Mm-hmm. We opened up the house to the club because we wanted the club to come down and play. Like, they haven't done field day in years.
Yeah.
and we just figured we'd set it up and have some fun.
Yeah.
And we had a ton of fun.
Yeah, I mean, just get together and do something you all have in common. I mean,
Right.
you all met because of the ham radio.
Absolutely. And it got me over a fear, too, and I started calling CQ. Like, I jumped on 15 this morning after building that new antenna.
Yeah, you're doing it a lot.
Yeah, and it's like 20 is garbage. Just there's so many people piled up on 20 meters. So we decided to jump down to 15 with this new antenna. And we're getting East Coast, Texas, Colorado. And I mean, that's an antenna I threw together in 45 minutes to an hour this morning.
Yeah.
In a field with a pair of pliers and a knife.
Yeah.
So.
We've got some
obnoxious trucks.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I see how people see ham radio as the old man, sitting, talking about, nothing. And then it's like it is a whole communication thing where if something happens, not to go down the doomsday prepper,
right?
Rabbit
that's
hole.
Not what this is about.
But it's still a really good tool.
Right.
To learn. Like, why wouldn't you just want to learn? Like, yeah, I was surprised that there weren't more people that kind of wanted to just see what it is.
And it coming from you, who has zero experience in this. I
didn't really have a lot of interest in it.
Right. And then, I go sit downstairs and play on the HF radio, but I think sitting you in front of the radio this morning, on Sunday,
I definitely caught a little bit of the bug. Like, that was neat to have people want to
talk to you.
Yeah. And it wasn't me.
Right.
It was field day, and they're trying to get numbers, but it was still just, neat to be involved in this worldwide thing.
Yeah, and I mean, you talk to people in Canada.
Yeah, that like 2% of the population actually does.
Right. Yeah, I mean, you got Canada, I think you got Georgia, I'm pretty sure you got Texas, Florida, East Coast. I think you got New York a couple times, maybe Massachusetts.
Yeah, I think so.
And you were just bouncing all over the place.
Yeah, but it was neat. I mean, I definitely see the excitement of it.
Right. And then I had to help a little bit, but I mean, you really got the hang of it.
Once it's really hard trying to pinpoint that voice.
Yeah.
That's, you're trying to listen.
Yeah,
and it's like you're trying to listen to too many.
Yeah.
And then you had to keep saying, they're calling you back. And it's like,
Yeah.
Well, it's a different call sign.
Yeah, you're not used to the call sign. So the call sign we were running was Whiskey Alpha 9 Charlie Juliet November. And we were 2 Alpha in India Lima, Illinois. So that was the exchange. So you get the call sign, you give the exchange, you get their call sign, their exchange, and you move on. And it was quick. I mean, the contacts were 15 seconds.
Yeah.
If you got good signal between the two of you. I think one of them, there was one you had to go back and forth with the guy a little bit.
Yeah.
And he was pretty patient. You were patient too about it.
Yeah, I mean, what are you going to do?
Right.
It's not, you can't get mad. I mean, or else why would you be doing this?
Right. And you did really good. I mean, for you jumping on and getting a little bit of help from me and Mike.
Yeah.
The guy that was hanging out with us, helping us log and stuff. I mean, I'd sit there, you'd hear him say his call sign, and then you weren't sure if it was time for you to go.
Yeah.
But I've been in it long enough where I can tell when he's ready.
Well, like I said, when they weren't saying QRZ at the end, which means, okay, I'm ready to hear the next person, it's like, are you done? Like, am I supposed to... Because you don't want to be rude.
Right.
And be talking over people, but it's impossible to not.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there were so many people piled on top of each other. It's not even funny. You had guys that were half a kilohertz.
I mean, it's kind of opposite of what a normal day is, where you wait until someone's done.
Like, I'll sit down there down in the basement and just listen to the guys chit-chat back and forth.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of stations I hear regularly, and I love just to sit and listen to the guys making contacts.
And really, I should just go down there and just listen. Like, it's nothing wrong to just listen. Like, I'm not just going to key up, anywhere.
Right.
Especially not, without supervision.
Yeah. Well, you get your general and you're set to go. But I've told you many times, if you want to sit down there with me and use my call sign, you're allowed to go wherever you want since I'm extra.
Yeah.
You can go down in the extra class and we can get you talking with somebody in Northern Ireland.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's just different. But slowly, different becomes normal.
Mm-hmm. It is. And it's a ton of fun. And I think you had a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was just neat just listening.
Right.
You know, I think that's the best way to learn all the little... I mean, you learn them in the test. Mm-hmm. But like you said, you don't really get it until you actually start doing it. Yep. And it's like, okay, that's what that means.
Yeah.
Like, I knew that this was a test question, but, you know, I don't know.
Yeah, and then you figure out your spacing. Once you started spinning that dial, you were now starting to figure out, like, what the spacing is of everybody's voice.
Yeah.
And I saw you go slow, and it's like, I want to tell you, just spin it fast until you see that thing jump.
Oh, I wasn't even looking at that.
And then when it jumps, slow down and dial it into there.
Yeah.
So, look for the peak, and then once you find the peak, dial it in from there instead of going like one.
Yeah. Well, I was,
one,
yeah,
point
well.
1.1. So.
That's all right.
Yeah, I mean, you did awesome for never doing that before.
Yeah.
I mean, you've made one contact, and that was, I mean, really a 10-meter contact,
yeah, it
30
was
miles
just,
away.
Yeah. And somebody jumping out of a plane.
Yeah, but I mean, we hit him with 100 watts. Yeah. You're going to make that contact. But now you're doing 600, 700, 800, maybe 1,000 miles, 1,200 miles, and you're making the contact, and it's coming through, and they're coming right back to you.
Yeah.
So.
It was fun.
Yeah. I had a lot of fun.
And plus, anytime I get to make food for people, it's always fun.
Yep. Hot dogs, chips, and then we did eggs and sausage this morning, which was delicious.
Yeah, hash browns. It's just fun.
That was a good breakfast this morning.
It was good.
It's nice and greasy.
Yeah. And coffee, of course.
Yep, coffee. Gotta have coffee. So, yeah, all in all, we made 300 contacts, built a new antenna, got some really bad storms on Saturday.
Yep. And I took a ton of pictures and videos, so we will work on like doing a YouTube collection of stuff. Yeah,
I'll get guys just calling when they're doing the pile up. I think, did you take any of them, the 40-meter guys?
I think so.
Okay. Yeah, because we could put something in with that, and then we can do something. I know you're taking video of me doing it. Mm-hmm. So we'll put something together. We'll throw some pictures in there. But yeah, it was nice to have set up down by that pond. That worked out perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, the kids had fun.
Yep. And if they got bored, they played in the pond.
Yeah.
So they brought the big fishing net down, and they were trying to catch weeds.
Yeah, they're pretending to be in a boat, and
Yep. They're always having fun.
Yep. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah, it was a fun, very busy weekend. Yeah. I'm ready to go to bed. I don't know about you.
I am.
So we'll be throwing it in a little bit early tonight.
Yeah, I might finish my book.
Might finish your book? How close are you?
I'm pretty close.
Very nice.
Reading the second book of the Going Home series.
Yeah.
Surviving Home.
Yes.
And my mom is borrowing the first book, which I'm still surprised because she doesn't read that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Are you almost done?" Because I'm like over halfway. I want to make sure that you're done by the time I'm done so I can borrow the second book. And it's like, don't worry, I'll be done. So I got to get the third one.
Yep. Yeah, it's, you're having fun.
I mean, I can't, it's so dumb. But, I mean, I haven't read a book cover to cover.
I know.
In like 8 years.
Yeah.
And now it's been like 2 books in 2 months.
Yeah.
So it's nice. It's really nice.
Well, and now you're starting to see how some of the stuff we've done over the past couple of years is coming into play.
Yeah.
And it's not a crazy conspiracy, but there's definitely been some choices that have been done around here.
Yeah, I definitely see the benefit of having pigs.
Yes. And food on the hoof.
Yeah.
So that's definitely the rabbits. Because then you don't have to deal with freezing them. You just cook them up and call it a day.
Yeah.
Have they gone through the salt boxing one of the pigs yet?
I don't think so.
Okay. That might be the third book, I think. They start talking about that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's definitely been interesting. So if
Yeah.
you're looking for a good survival, but with a really good story.
Yeah.
I mean, the first one was very gear heavy. Like, it sounded kind of
Yeah.
commercial.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm going to take off my,
Yada, yada.
super cool
Yeah.
vest. And,
Yeah.
it's like, okay, got it. But you still get attached to these characters.
Yeah. And there are some plot twists in
Yeah.
the second one that you do not see coming.
Yeah. It's good.
Yeah, it is it only gets better, and
Yeah.
there are a lot of plot twists.
Yeah. Because you just keep thinking, like, what else is going to happen?
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, that's
Yeah.
going to happen.
Yep. Yeah, the second one is it goes down a rabbit hole. The third one, it goes down different rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but this is the book series by Angry American.
Yep.
And you can find it on. He has got a website.
Yep, he's got a website.
And Amazon.
Amazon's got
yeah.
it. So
that's, I think, it.
all right. Well, we will see you guys next time.
All right. See you on the homestead, where something is always growing, eating, or cooking.